Though, if you look at Bitcoin itself, the IM has been very low lately. This is because the dollar has been very stable and interest rates have stayed higher than usual. But once the ISM goes over 50, the economy starts to grow again, people start making money again, and things get put back into the markets. In other words, this is when Bitcoin really speeds up. That point is up ahead. That point is almost here. We haven't shown how it responds to ISM in this talk, but we think it does. And if we reach 57 ISM, Bitcoin will be worth $450,000. We're ready for the next part of Raoul's Banana Zone. You guys might be surprised at how high XRP and the rest of the crypto market can go if Raoul is right about this. XRP is almost certain to go up to $20.00 or more per coin if Bitcoin hits $450,000. 0 cents per coin, which is what this ISM standard would mean. During this bull period, XRP has grown 5 times faster than Bitcoin. We all remember how crazy altcoin season was before. Solana and other projects like Ethereum went totally crazy. Avalanche went up more than 100x. Solana went up more than 100x. And a lot of other altcoins just blew up. This time, though, things are very different for XRP for the most part. We're going to talk more about that today, but first, we need to know about the liquidity cycle and what we can use to make money before the money comes into XRP. It always starts with Bitcoin. Don't forget that, you jerks. To make sure everyone sees it, click the like button. Now let's pay close attention to Raoul. Let's take a closer look at this cash cycle and see how it works. In this way, Global M2 is a good way to measure the total amount of cash around the world. This is what I use on these charts because it's more up to date. Because of the different data inputs, it takes longer to figure out total world liquidity. But Global M2 does a great job. Again, like the dollar version, this is doing a lot better than what happened during the last Trump run. So there is a lot of cash on hand. There are 2 things that push Global M2 forward: the dollar itself, which is why it's faster, and the global banking system. Those are the banks, and what they do now. Each and every government and central bank in the world is pushing banks to buy debts. Basel IV is the reason for that, the new changes to the USSR. All of this is done to get bonds and debt into the banking system so that banks have to use them as reserves to make more money. It's just one more way to make the coin worth less. It always does the same thing when we look at GLM2 in its entirety. This doesn't happen because of magic. It's because of the debt refinancing loop. The average length of time that world debt is due is 4 years. All of them are in the 3 to 5 year range. There's debt that will last for a long time. The market is now full, so no one can issue long-term loans. We find that we're short-term. We have a breakout and a repeat every time we do this. That's the 16-17 cycle over. This is the same as the other one. I think the breakout repeat is going to go up even more. Does this whole tightening of liquidity thing, which is the bear market, when the economy slows down and rates go up, it does the same thing. So COVID gave it a false, it did it once more. The same thing is being done by us. It's pretty much the same as the 2017. This means that M2 around the world is at an all-time high. That should mean that the prices of all assets are at all-time highs. That's how things are. We also have World M2 against Bitcoin. We can now see what happens to Bitcoin. Every time this happens on the same chart, it comes back to test again, and then Bitcoin starts moving into the next part of the banana zone. Most of the time, the breakout starts the banana zone a little earlier. Then there is the adjustment, and then it goes. I've also called this the 3 stages of the banana zone. Q1 of last year was the first phase. This is when we started to break out in all of these ways with new all-time highs and more liquidity. The price of Bitcoin hits a new high. It's time for correction, which is the adjustment zone. After that, we have Banana Zone Part 2, which is typically an old season. Everyone in the world has copied this famous chart of mine. It shows the global M2 chart against Bitcoin, which is 12 weeks ahead of the market. It feels like witchcraft. This mat looks the most like voodoo I've ever seen, and it works. Does it really work? Usually, Bitcoin does better than global M2 in the long run. This is because of the speculative mania that builds up over time as more people figure out what's going on. Based on what it says, the end of this year is mostly a one-way street with a few turns. The changes will be normal. Yes, you will be asking me, is it all done? Is the banana zone all done? Is everything over? Should I leave now? In general, you should just follow the money. It's really that easy. The other thing is that the central banks are doing the same thing that the dollar and the banking systems are doing. China has to print money. From what I can tell, China has 3 to 4 trillion yuan, but they need the dollar to be lower. They need to agree with the U.S. on the taxes. In return, the U.S. will keep making the dollar less strong. They will let the dollars into the Chinese system so that all of their dollar bills can be paid off. Of the bills that China has, a lot of them are in dollars. That's why we're beginning to break out, and that adds to this flow of cash. It's not just the lower dollar or the banks that are having trouble. The central banks are also starting to add money to the system because they all have to pay off their debts. That's why it turns around so often. Just like with M2, the market goes up every time the total global liquidity measure breaks out. Because I said there was a link, and here's the chart to prove it. There is a 90% link between it and weekly world liquidity. That's the Bitcoin. It's a crazy 95% for the NASDAQ. That's why it's hard to say that this isn't happening. It's so clear, but most people don't want to believe it. They start to curb the whole thing and say, well, that's not printing money, and that's not how things work. The facts make it so clear. It's so clear that this has been going on. This is something that both Scott Besson and Janet Yellen talk about when they talk. It's mostly the everything code structure that they talk about. Just to sum up, China is printing money, the EU is printing money, and the US is getting ready to print a lot of money once the tariff talks have died down a bit. It looks like China and the US will soon be meeting in Switzerland to talk about this very issue. We are getting closer and closer to the finish line, which is printing a lot of money and having trillions of dollars come into the system from all of the world's biggest economies. As Raoul just showed you, there seems to be a 95% link between the rise and the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies and the amount of cash in the system as a whole. And that's exactly how I trade and make swing trades. I personally hold cryptocurrency for 2 to 3 weeks and then sell it. This is what I like to do. Like I said, I constantly use leverage in a number of different positions like this, which has helped me make consistent profits in all of the crypto markets. A month trading cryptocurrency with a plan has seen me make anywhere from 65% to over 400%. Luckily for you, I make all of that information available to you for free so you can look at my trades and copy them or do whatever you want with them. A lot of people make the same trades as me, and a lot of them just join my Discord to be a part of a great trading group. By following our simple 3-step process, you can do all of that for free. You can sign up for either BTCC or BitNX and take advantage of the huge deposit bonuses. Both offer a 10% deposit bonus on both sites. You can also just transfer crypto over, and this is a cryptocurrency that you can receive. The deposit bonus can only be used for trade, but you can still get your crypto back. I just want to be clear about that. To join my group, you need to make a $100 0 cents deposit, which I'm sure most of you can do without any problems. Once you've done all of those things, just fill out this form with your email address and exchange user ID, and I'll email you access to our Discord and